I had a patient come in to see me. She came in to see me. She had fatigue. She had allergy. She had, all kinds of grief issues. And what she had is beside the point because she doesn't have it anymore. She came in to see me. I says, how are you feeling? She says, I'm feeling fine, but I'm a little concerned. Genuinely. I said, why are you concerned? She said, well, I can't thank you enough. My allergies are gone. I'm sleeping through the night. I don't have any more hot flashes. My mother's situation doesn't bother me anymore. I'm fine at work. She goes, but I'm kind of, I guess my complaint is I kind of feel like, why am I here? Like, what's the point of it with me being like this? And she was genuine. I says, you'll get used to it. You get used to it. It's peace. You'll get used to it. We all, until you reach that point where you're staying in that middle ground for the most part, we're all fighting our allergy to peace. We don't like how it feels. It's boring. It's uneventful. There's not much to do. And it isn't because everything's great. It's because we're accepting that for being that. We take the highs and lows out of it. Unconditional love and acceptance takes the highs and lows out. Well, it's going to be what it's going to be. When you genuinely say those types of things, do you ever notice how many people you completely aggravate? They don't believe you. They don't believe you. Well, yeah, it's easy for you to say. Well, actually, it wasn't easy for me to say. I've just practiced it, and now I actually mean it. I said it as a coping mechanism before, but now it's actually true. Things like, it'll all work out. Things that require patience and commitment. People don't like those statements that aren't in the practice, whatever you want to call the practice. It's just the name I call the things that we talk about. Whatever you call it might be different. I don't care. It's just a name. So you have to realize that. But if you're in a space of imbalance and you're having a physical sickness, okay, and you're still having a lot of emotional reactions, you're living beyond your means. And that's what I want to get into. Emotional reactions are energy intensive. They take energy. And emotional reactions demand attention and energy when? Now. Remember, you're an energy system, okay? You're an energy system. You're taking in food, you're taking in energy from the sun, you're taking in energy from life, and you're using that energy to perform functions in your body, mind, on a concrete level, okay? You only have so much energy. I wrote in the book, and I'll affirm it now, I believe one of the lessons we're learning from our energy policies we have in the world right now, the reason we don't have a sustainable energy policy is because we don't live sustainably as energy beings ourselves. We're completely unsustainable. We're all over the place. We justify spending huge amounts of energy over situations that really don't demand it. We could walk to the store, we take our car. We could let something go, we get aggravated. So we have to change as energetic beings if we ever really want to bring a change to the energy policy of the world. It has to start on a very basic level. How are you living? And it isn't all about recycling and things like that. That's great, but how are you living in life? What do you require? Emotional guidance systems require high amounts of energy. How many of you guys have cell phones? Okay. How many of those cell phones have internet? Okay. How fast does your battery go down when you're on the internet a lot? Fast. That's an analogy to an emotional reaction. When you're just using your phone to make phone calls and maybe use the calculator here or there or whatever, your battery will last a long time. But when you're using all the applications of that phone, it just drains that battery. It's the same thing for you. You're an energetic being. Those emotional reactions, they take a lot of intense reaction, then you have to suck a lot of energy to get your energy back up again. How many people have gone to, again, it's probably going to be everybody, but I won't assume. How many people have gone to a funeral where there's a lot of emotion going on? And maybe you were one of those people that was having a lot of emotion, okay? How many times do you leave that funeral feeling completely energetic? And how many times do you leave that funeral feeling like, whew, you're tired? You're not just tired because you were sad. You're tired because being really sad takes a lot of energy. So I want you to step back from just the emotional piece of it. Well, yeah, but I was really sad. No, being really sad takes a lot of energy. Being really excited takes a lot of energy. So my point again is, if you're having some kind of physical issue that you're dealing with, you don't have the energy to be spending on all these luxurious emotional reactions. You need your energy to heal. I'm going to bring this into the financial piece as well, all right? Let's say you have debt and you're paying off debt and you really make a focus to pay off debt, because that's what's really causing you the most problem in your life, is this debt. And you see this brand new car and you really want to buy it, but you really don't have the money for it. How many people would buy that expensive car if they really didn't have the money for it and they knew how much their debt was bothering them? Let me just see a show of hands. How many people would do that? No shame. Okay. One honest person. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe everyone wouldn't. But the point is that you wouldn't do that. But you don't think of your own body and your own being as an energetic equation that has a limited amount of resources running through it at any one time. If you're having a problem with anxiety and nervousness, okay, which means you're already in an excessive energy state, okay, do you really have the leeway to have expectations and be overexcited about things? No. You're already in an excessive energy state. You need to. And if you're really exhausted and tired all the time, is it really a good idea to be pushing yourself to exercise all the time? No. You're already tired. Now, yeah, gentle walking and things like that are good, but it's not a good idea. Emotions demand immediate energetic input, which means if I'm trying to heal from some disease, okay, and my body needs to send energy to that part of let's say my intestines, and it needs to send energy for healing, for regeneration, for rebalancing, healing. And I'm always flying off the handle being emotional. Am I getting as much energy to that healing space as I would get if I weren't that emotional? Yes or no? No. I just want to awaken you to the power of emotions. You don't say, I'm going to be angry about that 20 minutes from now. Make a note. Be angry in 20 minutes over that guy cutting me off. Perfect. That'll fit into my schedule. 20 minutes later, son of a gun, and you're in the office. No. You have the emotion in the moment. It's why it demands that. But they're incredible energy demanding. And they take you up, and then you drop off. So we kind of get an idea what brings us up. Okay, excitement, expectations, fear, anxiety, anticipation. What good does it do you to anticipate something to the point where you're getting anxious when you have no idea what's really going to happen? I mean, you're gambling with your peace. You're basically taking, and let's look at energy. Let's kind of put energy into like a currency metaphor tonight, okay? Because I think we can all connect with that a little easier. How much would you throw on roulette? Okay, if you had $100, and you really couldn't lose much of it. How much would you bet? Well, it's energy that you're betting on, these anticipations and these emotional things you're looking into in the future. You're placing energetic bets on those things. And even if you win, okay, even if you were right in anticipating something was going to happen, you lost because you spent all kinds of excess energy anticipating something that you could have watched happen without the anticipation. And I get it. Some of these things are human nature. I practice these things myself. This is a re-education of our experience that we're undertaking in the practice. So we can't come about it from judgment. We have to come about it with wisdom, with common sense. What makes sense? We have so much energy. We really want to spend as much of that energy healing, making sure our body and our functions are running the way they're supposed to so that we don't experience unnecessary physical disease, okay? Then we want to spend the rest of that calming our mind so that our brains are in a place to observe God's divinity and we can realize why we're really here. Wow, this is really great. I'm glad I noticed that. And then we want to give our spirit a place to worship.